as we know, cost of living is the #1 issue facing Australians, the real issue. It's become so bad, some are relying on buying now, pay later services for just staples. Acting Nationals leader Perin Davey joins me in studio. Perin, so great to see you. Before we get into this, you're in town for a very special reason, Mum.
That's right. I've come to Sydney to take my mother out for her birthday. So happy birthday, Mum. I'm looking forward to dinner tonight, and thank you for facilitating me coming into the studio instead of zooming in as we usually do.
Well, it's lovely to have you here in person. Does the government have any genuine idea how bad it is for everyday Australians when it comes to cost of living?
Well, clearly not, because otherwise we would have seen the Treasurer out and about today talking about what they were going to do about it, not about a wellbeing survey that you said own goal, because all that he's done by releasing his wellbeing report today is show how happy people were under the Morrison government. That's how old the data is. What people in Australia really want to hear is what happened to their $275 power bill reduction? What happened to lower grocery prices? What happened to stabilising and lowering inflation? None of that is being talked about by this government. They're only focused on the voice, and they're only focused about patting themselves on the back because people were happier under Morrison.
What would you do if you were in government? How would you make the lives of everyday Australians easier?
Well, one of the things we've got to do, and this government really needs to do, is look at how we increase our productivity. Because the two budgets that this government has had has put more money out into the economy, driving inflation, but done nothing to increase productivity and to see our economy diversify and look at what new industries we can start up, particularly in regional areas. How can we value add our fantastic resources, our critical minerals that we are rolling in, but we dig them up and we sell them overseas.
You're from Deniliquin. I worked in Win TV regionally for years and years, and I reckon almost every second week I do a story on a lack of GP services, a lack of doctors. You're talking about this now. How has this not been fixed by the previous government, by the one before that, by the current one? What is so difficult?
It is difficult because one of the biggest issues that we have in Australia is if you get your GP licence, you can get your Medicare provider number and you can set up shop anywhere. So people are inclined to set up shop where they've got family support networks or where they're known. One of the things we noticed was all of the kids studying medicine were coming to urban universities. Yeah. We fixed that when we were in government. We started the Murray-Darling Medical School. It's not a silver bullet. It takes time to train a GP. Yeah. It's something. I think we also need to start looking at, we did it for, dare I say it, for hotel licences and pokies, where we said, you know what, we've got enough in the cities, and we actually addressed it with a sort of a postcode or local government area scenario. I think we really need to have a strict review and go, there's enough Medicare provider numbers in the cities. It doesn't stop a GP setting up shop in the city, but they won't get a provider number. But they should, go to Deniliquin, go to Mildura, Wentworth, would love to have extra doctors and get the provider number, get the increased regional Medicare rebate that we also brought in, and start to address some of those issues.
There's a big campaign going on at the moment trying to encourage people to move out regionally. We're doing it on radio as well. It's very important. Just quickly, 30 seconds or less, The Voice. Your coalition colleague, Andrew Bragg, has come out and said that if we don't delay, it will fail, essentially, and he's a yes supporter. What do you think?
Well, I think the reality, however, is, as Albo has said, he's not for change. Andrew Bragg wants to delay it so that there can be a review and maybe push some amendments. But Albo has said, Anthony Albanese has said point blank, he will not change. If he will not change, this will not get through.